Better late than never, huh?
Good morning.
Wow, good morning. Let's see if it works this time. Last week we were cut off after 3 minutes and we sat here and talked to a screen literally for half an hour. It was actually 38 minutes. And for whatever reason, YouTube decided, hey, they don't need to share nothing with nobody. Let's just let them sit in front of a screen and drink coffee by themselves.
Yeah, you think something would come up on the screen and go,
Or someone would message
"You're
me and go,
not
"Hey,
live."
yeah, you cut off." And I didn't get any of those until later. So, anyways, good morning, y'all.
We apologize. Though.
If you're just joining us for the very first time, I'm Amber,
I'm Tim.
and we are two of the five Bradshaw family members that filmed our build for Building Off the Grid on Discovery Channel, and we moved from Pawleys Island in South Carolina by the beach to East Tennessee, and we live off grid here with our growing family. We now have Ashlyn, who married her son Gavin, and they built their off grid home here. My mother moved here from South Carolina. She lives in our cabin in the holler. And Morgan's better half, Austin, the two of them live not off grid, very much in the city in Knoxville. So there we go. Anyways, welcome to coffee, y'all. Grab a cup of Joe.
Joe.
And if we go dark for whatever reason, like it just quits, we quit having coffee with y'all and we haven't said goodbye, someone text me or send me a message. Um, so I know, not to just sit here and talk. I can get up and start cleaning house.
Yes, we do count on y'all sometimes.
We do count on y'all a lot of
Yes.
times.
So try
Not just
not.
sometimes, a lot of times.
Yeah, we have no problem making ourselves look like idiots sometimes, but
Good morning, kids. We love you. Have a great day. Well,
try
hey,
to help us
stranger, how
out.
you doing, Daddy?
Hey, Daddy.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Daddy, huh?
I interrupted you.
Oh, I don't know. I'm fine.
Sorry. Anyhow. So let's talk about this storm, y'all. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to go here with the obvious that we have right now.
Here we go.
Never ever in my adult memory, which probably is pretty tiny, do I recall being this forewarned of a pending rain and windstorm.
Really.
Now we get hurricane warnings,
Hurricanes,
several
yeah.
weeks out, and you watch the system as it moves over the Gulf and everything, and builds up pressure or what have you, and then they send airplanes into the eye of it. But this isn't that story.
Huh. Well, we have technology now. I mean, they can go forward and track and do things like that, but I get your point, though.
So over a week ago, I'm getting like flashing warnings on my phone from the local news channels that I follow, and friends have been sending me things for over a week about prepping for the storm.
Hmm.
And researching it, more and more, there's these fronts come together, they're moving across, and it's going to be bad. Now, I'm not making light of this because I am sure there's going to be bad storms and people are going to be devastated in some capacity, whether trees coming down or just the fallout of a bad storm because it's been bad here, y'all. I mean, people lost their lives, thousands have lost their home, were
Yes.
displaced. I'm not making light of it. I'm just, and that one didn't have a ton of warning. I mean, we had some, there was some coming with that hurricane because it was hurricane, but never in East Tennessee would you think you've been so destroyed by a hurricane hitting the coast as we were. I mean, we had more damage here than they had on the coast, in Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina. But this storm is different to me. It's got a lot of, it's just a lot.
It's got a lot of red in it.
We were at Aldi last night getting supplies, y'all, and I am a huge fan of Aldi. Not necessarily some of the workers, but they have the best prices on produce around, bar none. The organic prices at price dollar for dollar, they have the best prices on organic produce around. And in my opinion, take it for what it is, they have the best prices on toilet paper and paper towels around. And if you remember during COVID hitting and we had the toilet paper shortage, I'm a huge fan of stocking toilet paper. I people shipping it to me from South Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but yeah, so anyways, we were at Aldi last night and we pulled in the parking lot. We're like, oh my gosh.
It was empty.
Yeah, it was empty. It was like, this is the best time to go. And then we walked in the store and the shelves were like, there was no celery, there was no lettuce, there was no, and I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe this isn't the best time to
It
go. It had been wiped clean,
it
y'all.
got gleaned.
It did get gleaned. And I'm just making sure that isn't somebody already messaging me telling me we're not live. And I couldn't figure it out. So I
Yeah.
asked our clerk or at the checkout, I said, we thought this would be a good time to come, but I couldn't get half my list. What's up? He goes, the storm. I'm like, oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then he went off. Then he's like, I think they're making a storm. So, I mean, he went that hick sounding. He sounded actually very effeminate, to tell you the truth, for a big old guy. He had a beard and everything. Um, he's like, they're doing this storm to take the eyes off of Trump and that Elon guy. And he just went off. He's like, he's destroying our country. And all the time, I'm like, Amber, shut up. Amber, shut up. Amber, I don't always speak my thoughts, y'all. I know this might come as a shocker.
Well, yeah. Sometimes you need to just kind of
Pick your
walk
battles.
away.
Oh, I
And I
tried
mean,
to walk
when
away.
people start talking like that, I mean, that's
I tried to walk away. What did that joker do? Tell him.
they followed you.
Go ahead. He followed me.
Well, he grabbed a broom and started sweeping, and he came
His
over and started sweeping by
his
us
little
while we were
pumpkin
putting
head
our
was
groceries.
right there going going
Yeah.
on about how his daddy's and he goes, Daddy, now the daddy's eating his words because he voted for the guy that's destroying our country. And he was just
Yeah.
and I'm like, I was telling my friend this morning, I said, Amber, you finna to go to jail. You better shut your
Yeah.
mouth. Your family's with you. Yeah, it was bad.
Mm.
And I'm like, how can someone be that deranged?
Well, I'm glad you refrained yourself from
Oh, you knew I was going to
getting
jail.
engaged in that type of heat
Well,
because
then I felt sorry for him. And I'm like, how can somebody be this misinformed?
yeah, it happens.
But then I took in, like, I was quickly absorbing. Y'all ever watch Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.? Why are you looking at me like that? It's one of your favorite shows. You
I was
couldn't
trying to
go
think of which one. We used to watch the series and then the movies came out. So
with
that's
Robert Downey Jr. And in Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr., he's able to slow down the future kind of and picture the series of events. So he knows every move to make.
yeah.
And that's kind of where I was looking at him, not picturing what would happen if I opened my mouth because I knew I wouldn't have been able to shut it. But I was looking at the derangement of this person and all the other cues I was getting from him.
Wow.
And it was serious, like I said, he was a big old boy, very effeminate, lived in the city, it was just full of rage, full of hate. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying he's hopeless. He's not, because there's always hope. But it wasn't my battle for that moment.
Hmm.
I did feel like saying, well, God bless you.
Oh yeah.
I even refrained from that one.
Well, you can say that nowadays, and they can take it either way. I mean, really.
I think I meant it as the latter way.
Yeah, yeah.
So it wouldn't have been a good thing.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Yep.
So
But anyway,
anyway, we made it out of there. We're not.
but we're talking about. Sorry, I'm letting the dog in, y'all. Speaking of the dog, get out of my garden, Athena. Um, we're talking about prepping for the storm coming up.
Prepping for the storm. Yes, we're prepping for the storm. So the wind's already picked up. It's supposed to rain a little bit today. It's supposed to get
You can sit up straight. They think
really,
you're shorter than
really
me.
bad tonight.
Is it coming, y'all? It's our daughter's birthday. Daughters. Morgan had her birthday, and I can't even see. I get a thumbs up. I don't know what to do with that. You don't have access to this feature. I'm just hoping we're still in here.
Are we still here?
I don't know.
Somebody give me a thumbs up. Or
So Morgan, it's was her birthday on the 6th. Ashlyn, our daughter-in-law, it's her birthday on the 21st. So we're getting together tomorrow, of all things, to celebrate. That was earlier, baby. That's when Daddy said hi.
Hey, again.
Their birthdays during the storm. This kind of like, I think this is pretty much standard for us. Every time we get trapped or there's a nice storm or a flood, we're having to get together at our house. That might be intentional, y'all. God might plan that intentionally, knowing that everybody will be here and we're prepared. We can take
Yeah.
care of them. I don't know, but it's ironic. But the winds are picking up. We do have a bad storm. I've had some friends message me about the storm and thank you for caring. I love that you guys share because I'm not in the weather. I trying to be a little bit more in touch with what's going on around us so we're not blindsided. Um, and I don't think that we're impervious to damage. We don't have a big ego going, oh, we live off grid, we're fine, because there's a lot that can happen up here, and we are well aware of that.
Yes, there is.
I mean, I'm sure there's things that will catch us off guard. We're not prepared for every, situation. Um, but we're not largely concerned about flooding up here. If that happened, I would be going, okay, Jesus, I'm ready to meet you because, we're the end is here.
Yes, a God thing.
That'd be a
If
God thing. But
if the
he
mountains start flooding, yeah,
now the valleys is a whole different situation. But he promised not to flood us again.
that's right.
We're going to be consumed by fire next time.
Ooh,
So it says, and I believe it. Um, but they were asking what we're doing. So, and people were asking what we're doing preparing for the storm. And the short answer, not a lot different than what we normally prepare. Another good friend messaged me about the tariffs. That's what we talked about last week, y'all, that
yeah,
YouTube cut us off. We talked about the
yeah.
tariffs and asked what we were prepping for the tariffs. And I had to admit, again, not a lot different than what we're already doing. But that's the kicker. We're always prepping. We're always preparing. Always. I mean, there's not a day that we don't prep or prepare for something. Whether it's preparing to, preparing during flu and cold season, it's that we have extra things in place if one of us goes down and the other one has to do it alone. If we're preparing for the actual season, like winter, preparing for the heat to come, preparing for bug season.
Bug season,
It's a real thing, y'all.
the Asian beetles.
Preparing for the heat, making sure our pool's good, that we have water sources for the livestock. So we're always prepping and I'm always rotating the food and making sure that our like last night's grocery list. Oh wait, I did get some fresh produce, but outside the fresh produce, everything on my list was to add to our stock. It's
Yeah,
not because we were out.
yeah.
So for instance, the toilet paper and paper towels, I buy the big 12 packs. That was to add to my five other big 12 packs that I already have in storage. Same thing with mayonnaise. I bought a jar of mayonnaise that was to add to our 5 jars that are already in the pantry because I know we go through a lot of mayonnaise. Barbecue sauce, same way. Um, Sugar, oil, all those things. There was nothing that we bought other than fresh produce. Oh, we did get some dairy, but even that, I was like
Yeah.
getting extra, not because we were out. So we're always in that prepping mode. And if you do that too, then you totally get it. If you don't, then that's where you might want to start. And I do have an article about how to start prepping for beginners. I'm going to see if I can share that with y'all.
Yeah, once you start doing it, I mean, becomes natural, and you just
Then you look out for sales
yeah.
and expiration dates is a must.
Expiration dates are very
A
important because
must.
you can buy stuff at a deal and it'll expire in a month. And if you're going to use it, fine. But if it's going to sit on the shelf for a little while, don't buy it.
Yeah, there's another thing to be said about that, y'all. Those whole expiration date things. There's a lot. I just saw a whole graphic the other day. I need to find it to share with you guys. There's a lot of food that we throw away because the date on
Yeah,
it, and it's
yeah.
totally fine. It's completely good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, they do that for more sales. They do that for safety reasons. But have to use your best judgment
I
as
mean,
well.
there's only certain things that I can tell if it's still good Just like milk, you can smell milk, but some other things just jarred.
When in doubt, throw it out. There ain't
Yeah,
no, I mean, yeah. However, there's a lot of foods that are good way past their expiration date. So don't let it scare you. But I
yeah,
wouldn't pay premium for something that was going to expire real soon.
no.
Other things that you need to get prepped for this, y'all, and this is take pictures of everything. This is what we had to use to we this is what we used to do for hurricanes too. You need to take pictures of everything, including all the serial numbers on your products. Your The insurance companies are going to want it. If something happens to you, they want to know what the VIN number is on your vehicles. They want to know what the serial number was on your chainsaw. They have to know.
Well, they want to know if you actually owned it.
Well, you have today, and if it turns up in a pawn shop or something,
Yeah,
that
they
gets
can track it.
gone,
Yeah.
then, or if you get looted after a storm because you left, you need to have record. Take pictures of all the exterior, interior of your home. That should be your first and foremost that you do. And then back up that file by sending it to the cloud or somewhere. Just don't have it on your phone.
Hmm.
And then, I mean, I think that's one of the most important things, especially for insurance companies during any type of situation. And that should be something we all do yearly. And take a picture of all your family members. Have a recent photo of everybody. That's another one to have on your phone. A recent photo of everybody. Are you preparing for the photo? What was that
Yeah,
smile
you can take a picture of me. So
right now?
yeah, they see me, they'll go, "He's dead. He died 12 years ago."
Do you need some more coffee, baby?
No, I'm fine.
Lord have mercy. And water is a must. Y'all have to have a water source. I need everybody was during this last storm without water and without power. They were all freaking out. They still had self-service, but listen, and it's limited because you need to make sure that your phones are charged, have a backup source for that. They have those little, it's a little too late now to order one, but those small little battery cells for charging your phone or any USB port that are really good. And
Yeah,
our friend Carla got us several of those.
Patriot makes those. Some of
She
those.
ordered them through Patriot.
Yeah,
There's others out there.
yeah.
Uh, Anyhow, that speaking of cell service, this is ironic. So this is we have Starlink now, y'all. And before that, we had a mobile hotspot with Verizon that did not work. I mean, it worked sometimes, but it didn't work. And so I went to cancel it because I forgot to cancel it several months ago, which is on me. I should have done it. It cost us money. I regret it. But anyhow, it is canceled now. And when I called to cancel on the voice activated thingy, because you don't get a human, you get some digital junk, it said, "We noticed that there's going to be a storm in your area. Please prepare for outages when the cell towers might go down and you lose communication. Make sure your cell phones are charged before the pending storm." And I'm like, okay, that's weird too.
Yeah.
I've never called a utility or public service company or a business that already had forewarning of storms that were going to be out of communications. Just things that make you go, communications. Make sure you have a way to communicate with others. My mom's in the holler. She can't get up here with her vehicle. If it's a bad storm, we won't try to get down there. So we have walkie talkies that we use for communications because chances are she'll lose power. If she loses power, she loses all cell service down there.
Yeah.
So we have walkies for communication, and they work perfectly. We use them all the time, actually, because I can never reach her by her phone. So I'm like, "Mama Bear calling Grandma Bear, coming Grandma Bear," your phone
Yeah.
again, and to make
Well,
sure that
and
she's
that's
safe.
and you have to always make sure they're charged because you don't know how long the power is going to be out and how long need to stay in communication
How did it
with the
get out
walkie.
again?
So it's
But a lot of people don't understand too. When they lose power, they kind of lose ability for their toilet. But they don't. Like, they'll lose water because they don't have the pump to pump it in.
the old toilet thing. Yeah.
Huh.
So
Tell them how to use it without power.
yeah, I mean, every time we ever lost power or water, you had had to get water and actually fill the back of the toilet up.
But if they fill their tub up before a storm, they can use that water.
Fill your tub up. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to well, you can do it.
No, that's
So
good.
tell them if they lose power,
And if you lose power,
they can tell how to fill the toilet up and
yeah,
flush the
fill your
toilet.
toilet, fill the tank up on the back of the toilet, and you can get a flush out of it.
But y'all don't be flushing. Just what they said. What is that from Meet the Fockers? It's um if it's yellow, it was Dennis Hoffman. Was that what's his name? Hoffman.
Dustin Hoff.
Dustin Hoffman. He said, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. From Meet the Fockers,
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
Or Meet the Parents. No, it was Meet the Fockers.
Meet the
Anyhow, anyway, that's kind of our principle with, anytime there's a storm when we were in the city, if it's to conserve on water and flushes
Yeah.
and everything.
Yes.
So that is a way to keep your toilets going during the storm. But make sure that you have a way to use the restroom and you can make yourself a portable toilet fairly easy with a 5-gallon bucket, some cat litter, sawdust, and if you can't get to Walmart or one of those places to get one of those camping lid toilets that fit on top of a 5-gallon bucket,
Yeah.
we used a pool noodle during a hurricane when we lost the ability to use our toilet because our septic system was backed up because the entire area was flooded. So we slit the pool noodle, put it around the rim of the bucket, and there you go.
Let her rip.
Oh, goodness. And have yourself a go bag. We talked about that last week and nobody heard. And that is a backpack or a box or something that you can quickly do. I got an Asian beetle on me. Y'all, those Asian beetles are going to be the death of me right now.
They smell like cucumbers.
Everyone says they smell like cucumbers. I just want them dead. And they didn't die. I'm going off on Asian beetles here now because they're crawling everywhere. And they're on our south and southeast windows. They're not on our west or north side,
Yeah.
thank the Lord. And I'm not talking a little bit. Like I'll stand there with a vacuum and suck them all up and put the vacuum down, walk in the other room, come back, and the windows are covered again.
Yeah.
And I mean, covered. They're just, I mean, not solid black covered because that would be pandemic kind, but they're covered. You can hear them crawling. They look like ladybugs. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And it's not us, it's everywhere. I thought they would die this winter. It was cold. Why
Yeah.
did they die?
It's a bug's life.
Well, they need to start paying some of these bills around here if they're going to take residency.
When we first moved here, we were lying in the bed one night and something landed on Amber. And she goes, "Oops, I'm done. I'm ready to move."
I'm tapping
She
out.
was like, "I'm done.
I
I
am not
can't do
doing
this."
this. It was a bug that got me to wave my white flag. Lyndon's got a bug net, and she didn't have it for that purpose. She wanted it to look like a princess bed, and it does, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Roses and little fairy lights and
She's got a
everything.
nice
I
little
want the
setup.
bug net for the bugs because
Yeah.
it's bad. Good morning, Sherry. How are you, honey? It's Sherry. She's one of our neighbors and a good friends of ours, her and Jacques, and they are the couple that keep us in constant in the know for these storms because she knows that
Yeah.
I don't spend any time really on social media. So I'm very, very thankful for that. But yeah, the bugs are bad, and I'll get off of that. But I've got to figure out something because I can't live another year with them in my house like they are. The Asian beetles
Yeah.
and the stink bugs. I told Linda the other day, I said, kill it. She goes, we don't kill Jeremy's mom.
They stink when you squeeze them or touch
Well,
them.
I don't care if they sting. I just want them out of the house. And they will bite you, just so you know.
I've actually perfected pick up. I can pick a stink bug up a certain way, and I can put him outside without him releasing his.
Stink.
Oh.
Timmy and Gavin, when we're building the house, when they were building the house, they nicknamed one of them Jeremy. And now all stink bugs are Jeremy. And Gavin even
Yeah.
has everybody at his job for the city calling all stink bugs Jeremy's.
Jeremy. Yeah.
And anything with a name, we all know doesn't get killed. So
Yeah. So yeah,
they get catch and release
yeah,
program. Not the Asian beetles though. They will not get any.
yeah.
Those are
But
horrible.
yeah, for anyone out there and their name's Jeremy,
We're
it's we
sorry.
love you, and
Oh,
we're not picking on
you're
you.
not
Yeah.
stinky, but you get to survive. But anyways, back to survival during the storm because it's you guys got to be keep in touch with communication. Have yourself a go box. Make sure that you have pictures of everything. Make sure you, and write yourself a list too. You know, if you don't have pen and paper, do your notepad on your phone of all of your stuff worth of value.
Yeah.
All of your stuff worth of value. Course, nothing is worth more than your life. So if you're in danger at all, leave. Speaking of leaving, have a paper map, y'all. They still make them. You can get them at almost, if you live close to a border or a tourist area, they all give away the paper maps of all the roads for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is, most people don't know that. Stop by one of those visitor centers.
A
Stop
visitor center. Yeah.
by a public restroom,
Yeah.
visitor center on the highway, and grab you some of those paper maps. You can get them at bookstores. You can get them online, but they're free at the visitor centers and tourist areas. So you know how to leave if your GPS isn't working or your phone isn't charged. So many people do not know that. We were driving home from the hospital the other day with mom, and I said, "Mom, what road are we on?" It's the main road coming home. She didn't know. I said, "Look around. Where we at?" She didn't know. So it's very important to use, you know, some of your instinctual navigational skills when
That's
you're trying to flee.
yeah. That's right. And landmarks and stuff like that. It's just we've all succumbed to the GPS, watching it and where it tells us to go, and we're missing all the actual surroundings.
You're not paying attention,
Yeah.
and you need to be able to get out of town or safely. You need to know all the different ways in and out of your place safely and where is safely. Watch the storm, see where it's moving, watch where it's not going to be. That's kind of where you want to go. Find out the storm shelters in your area. They were posting in Newport in Cott County. Um, there's an old church with an underground storm shelter because they're calling for tornadoes. And they had some tornadoes this last time, a couple weeks
Hmm.
ago. We saw that barn that got flattened right there on the
It
highway.
got flattened.
And
Yeah.
that's not that far away from us, y'all. So, no, it's not normal for tornadoes to hit the mountains, but it can happen. And
Yeah.
we can't be so arrogant that we're like, oh, it's not going to happen here. It'll happen somewhere else. But other things, that you want to prep is definitely your water. Make sure you have enough for you and the livestock. I know this sounds silly to prep water during a storm. It's like, oh, we'll get plenty of rainwater, but that isn't always necessarily so. Because when they are without power, like our well operates on power down in the holler. If the power shut off, guess what, y'all? Unless we take our generator down, the well's not pumping out water. We ain't getting none. Even if it's even we're an abundance of flooding rains. What?
Uh, I was gonna say something,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and it just poof, it left me
Is it about water?
just like that.
You
Yeah.
want me to be quiet?
No.
Have meals that you don't need to cook. This is a big one. Like another person very or close to us is like, "Oh, I got plenty." I'm like, "What you got?" "I got hamburger meat. I got this. I got that." And I'm like, "You got to cook all of it. What you got in cans?
Every bit of it.
Nothing. Then you're gonna go hungry because you're not gonna have power and you're not gonna have nothing to eat." So make sure that you have meals. That's in my prepper thing too. The ultimate prepper for beginners is plan meals that you don't have to cook, that are nutritious, that will fill you up, make you happy, make your stomach satisfied, that you don't have to cook. And I'm not talking about that box of Girl Scout cookies you just bought at Walmart.
Ooh.
And I'm saying that because the Girl Scouts are outside our Walmart right now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
not today, Satan.
Yeah.
Back up.
I didn't, I
Not
tried,
today.
I was going to say I didn't even look at them, but I did.
Don't stare at them in the eyes. They'll
Yeah.
get you. Those girls all standing there looking
You
cute.
want to buy some Girl Scout cookies?
Oh, when we went out, there was a big old guy with Girl Scout cookies, tattoos all over, no kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going over there because
Yeah.
I'm going to buy him because he looks like he means business.
No, I'd have gone up to him and goes, "Is there any left?"
Oh, I almost missed you. Hi from Wisconsin. Hey, honey, how are you? We're talking about the pending storm. I don't even know how long we've been because our little counter's gone. It used to be there. Now it's not.
It was something to do with the storm. I can't put my finger
Come
on
on,
it.
come on, come on. You got it.
Can't do it.
Things to prepare
I can't
for
do
the
it.
storm coming.
No.
I know if you live in the city, this is a big one because I'm sitting here thinking about in
Oh,
terms. Go ahead. Yeah.
it just came back. It seems like when we get bad storms here, they're always late at night when we're ready to go to bed.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that weird?
And it's like
Well,
when
wake up,
these things
Steve.
come in, they're coming in, but really they kind of catch you off guard because you're sleeping. So I'm like, what's up with that?
Well, that was like with the fire. Um,
Yeah.
the fire warnings a couple of 3 weeks ago when we had all the fires here. I was in bed. Thank the Lord for my old lady bladder. Woke up, went to the restroom, came back, and I'm looking at my phone, and there's our county emergency warning that we might have to evacuate. I'm like, oh. Then I opened up text messages that have been trying
Mhm.
to get me. I turn everything off at night. We have our walkie talkies on. That's the only thing that we leave on. And it's in the middle of the night. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Whatever happened to the old daytime
We had
storms?
two quick thunderstorms roll through. Did y'all have any damage? What'd you say? What happened to what?
What happened to the old daytime storms they used to have?
Yeah, we'd be playing outside and the tornado warning would go off and everybody get together and join their neighbors in the basement.
Maybe that's in Florida or Kansas or somewhere.
I don't know. It's not here. It's in the middle of the night here. But this is something because we're thinking in terms of how it's going to affect us here on the mountains. When we're back in the city, this is a huge concern. When you have these storms, God bless their ignorance. Afterwards, the roads would be flooded, everything would be flooded, and you would see everybody out there in their britches, just in their shorts and stuff and bathing suits playing in this flooded water in the streets and everything.
I've done that.
Y'all, this is contaminated sewage water. When we're back home, the city septic systems cannot
Hold.
the influx of the tourists that we have back
Yeah.
there. And if there was a king tide, if there was a full moon, you would literally see the sewage
Coming out the manholes.
coming out the manholes in the
Oh.
city, down by the beach, and everywhere. And then when we had that 1,000-year flood right after one of the hurricanes,
Yeah.
we couldn't flush our toilets. Well, we found out the hard way. Our sewage bubbled up in every sink, tub, toilet. It was just because there was no place for you flush for it to go because the grounds were saturated wet. So this
Woo.
it's disgusting. So what do you do? And then people be in the streets. They're having fun. They're pulling boats, and it was. I'm like, we don't even
Yeah.
go outside without garbage bags wrapped around our legs. Hang on. Watch the live feed about tornadoes, friends and family live in Kentucky and Missouri. Okay. I hope everybody's okay. Um, that area is really prone to tornadoes too, I believe, because I remember, huh?
Well, yeah. Some of the plains out there is kind of
Where's that? What is the area y'all they call Tornado Valley?
some Kansas City, Kansas,
Kansas, I think it is Kansas.
Kansas, Tornado Valley.
Alley, not Valley. My
Tornado
words
Valley.
ain't finding me this morning. But anyhow, back to the biohazard. And everybody's out there playing in this stuff, in the
Yeah.
sewage. And it's disgusting. Afterwards, if this happens and you're in a flooded area, one, don't go in it barefoot. Don't go in it with flip flops on. Don't go in it with just get you some fishing waders or hip waders or garbage bags around your feet if you need to. Reuse those plastic bags for the good.
Mhm.
And then you need to take care of your soil. There are beneficial bacteria that you can buy online at Amazon, at agricultural places that go, you spray in your soil and they help fight those contaminants in your soil. But don't be harvesting any vegetables that year.
Yeah.
This year you've already got your garden growing or your herbs out there and you're in a flooded area after the storm. Just let nature purify that stuff. Another thing is you can get like mushroom mycelium and spread that out, and that'll help cleanse your soil as well. But those are things that we had to do after the flood, and it was because I was worried about our chickens foraging out and that
Mhm.
stuff. So we actually contained them. Well, back then we didn't have free ranging chickens. We can't contain them and didn't let them out. Like we gave them
Mhm.
grubs and worms and mealworms and stuff, and never let them forage afterwards for a while
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Which we were on a small lot too, so it was actually manageable to be able to do that. So I know if you have a lot of land, it's kind of hard to, get everything covered, but I guess you have to work with areas and
and
get
work
your,
with, yeah, don't get overwhelmed, but work
yeah,
with what you got. But don't, I mean, I'm just saying this stuff to be mindful. These are
yeah,
things to think about. Not necessarily that you'll even have to deal with it, but it's definitely the aftermath stuff to think about and the contaminated areas.
yeah,
i- In that, for instance, if you are in a flood zone that has, well, if you're in the city and you're on city water and there's a flood zone, these are things to think about. Not
yeah,
necessarily if you're out in the country like we are, and definitely up on the mountain. We're
yeah,
very blessed
yeah.
about
Just because the water's gone doesn't mean the
danger's
the
gone.
the danger's gone or the contaminants or whatever that was in the water. So it's kind of gross thinking about it, but
But you got to be mindful of it,
yeah,
because you can get this bacteria and parasites and pathogens that you didn't even realize. Like for instance, after the storm comes through, everybody all in the warmer areas, all the gardeners and farmers have their starts out. Their plants are already
yeah,
coming out of the ground, and any type of leafy green and stuff. You're getting in a couple months at the farmers market. What has that stuff been saturated with?
hmm,
Just things to think about. But speaking of, we got to get ready. We've got to let you go and finish having coffee and take care of our livestock and everything. We've got pretty much one of our main things is making sure everything's secure out here. We got stacks of firewood, we got stacks of tin. The tin more than anything. Last storm, our house is facing south for the solar that we need, and we have that resin wicker furniture on their front porch. We rarely get a wind that comes from where you said we rarely get it coming from this way. It always comes from
the
the
south,
northwest,
yeah, southwest.
southwest. The wind thing messes me up, y'all. I can't. When I look at the direction and feel the wind, I'm thinking that's where it's coming from, but I'm backwards. It picked up our furniture, moved it around the house and up and over our bathhouse behind the bank. It was crazy. I can't even imagine. You know how much stuff it had to go up and over to move our furniture off our deck and go all the way back there. So it had to, picked it up and done like this. It was kind of heavy furniture
I know
too.
I walked out on the front porch and I'm like, well,
Where is it?
there's a chair missing. So I start walking around and I was like, I don't see it. It's gone. Somebody stole it.
So we got to make sure things are secure. We got extra propane. We do have firewood so we can cook. We got food. We got our go box. We have livestock food stored. Animals are secure. Water. We get more water. We'll be
We're going
getting
to
even
get more
storing
water.
more water. We have huge, massive 5-gallon totes that we store water in. All of our cisterns are full, so we're good there for rainwater. And then we have over 5,000 gallons of water in our pool. So we're good there. Yes,
Yeah, actually, some of our totes are 7 gallons. So that's 56 pounds. Yeah.
it's heavy.
Yeah. I carry two of them at a time because if I try to carry one, I'll fall over. And
It's all about balance, y'all. All about balance. But make sure if you have anybody, seniors or elderly neighbors that you are close to, stay in contact with them. Make sure that they have their stores because chances are they're not getting out and stocking up. They're not getting out and prepping. Take care of them. That's what we're called to do as Christians, is take care of our neighbors and those in our community. So, if you're set and you're ready to go, make sure other people are ready to go too. Let's be the peace the middle of the storm. Can we say goodbye now?
Amen there. Yeah.
All right, we love
Thanks
y'all.
for watching.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Saturday for
Stay
coffee.
safe.
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. There's truth to that statement today. We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.